Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Eid al-Fitr edition of the Midday News. And this bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 9.7 FM studios, Kokomimle in Accra at digital address GA0993341. It's also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by Telisol 4G, just a touch. And coming up, security and religious tolerance high on the agenda as Muslims across the country gather to climax their month-long fast. We'll hear from President Akufo-Addo as he calls on Muslims to report suspicious characters in their neighborhood to foil any likely terror attack.
While the security agencies work to keep all of us safe, I encourage you to report suspicious characters who come into your communities to take advantage of our well-acclaimed hospitality to unleash mayhem on our country to the police.
We'll hear more from him and get live updates from our correspondents. Also, emergency curfew imposed on the Bole Township after gunshots were heard there following Eid prayers between two rival chiefs there. We'll get details live. And apologize. That's the call from women's advocacy group WILDAF to President Akufo-Addo for his recent comments suggesting there is not enough dynamic activism from Ghanaian women.
I will say that the president himself has not been dynamic enough. When the president arrives at the airport, just do the honorable thing by apologizing to Ghanaian women.
More from him and other gender activists raising their voices against the president's comments. And later, while Ghana is constantly breeding a new generation whose songs are topping the charts in Benin, the charts are dominated by the older generation.
The musicians in Benin have failed to organize themselves in a way in which it will be conducive to the industry.
We'll bring you a report on the contrasting musical situation of the two countries. I'm Arba Kumsin. Let's settle for the details. President Akufo-Addo has appealed to Muslims in Ghana to be security conscious and report suspicious characters in their neighborhood to foil any likely terror attack. His call comes in the wake of terrorism threat alerts on Ghana and the recent arrest of a Burkinabe national in a Catholic church in Hamile in the Upper West region. He was speaking at the 2019 Eid celebration at the Independence Square here in Accra.
While the security agencies work to keep all of us safe, I encourage you to report suspicious characters who come into your communities to take advantage of our well-acclaimed hospitality to unleash mayhem on our country to the police. Let us also exercise restraint in the face of provocation, for a lack of restraint will only feed into the destructive plans of these miscreants who seek to destroy in the name of religion. I applaud the vigilance of Messieurs Gregory Banbame and Judge George Bonfondon, members of the Roman Catholic Church in Hamile, in the Upper West region, who together with the church leaders alerted the police about the presence in the church of an armed person who turned out to be a national of our neighboring country of Burkina Faso. The person is in custody.
Well, the president also commended Ghanaians, both Muslims and Christians, for their peaceful coexistence, which he says has earned Ghana the admiration of many around the world.
I believe the visit of the National Chief Imam to Christ the King Church to meet with Father Campbell, his parish priest, as a gesture of solidarity, should be duly celebrated. The BBC and other international news networks carried this singular act because it rarely happens anywhere else. Recently, during the Vice President's Ramadan tour, I saw pictures of him and the heads of all the major Christian churches in Kukuom in the Ahafo region. These Christian leaders, on hearing that the Vice President was in the Central Mosque in their town, went to the mosque to be with him and to bond with the Muslim community of Kukuom.
President Akufo-Addo there. Meanwhile, head of the Greater Accra Council of Zongo Chief Otuba, says although leaders in the Muslim community are educating the youth against engaging in vices such as terrorist activities, poverty is a major challenge for them.
We are all the time on the government to also do same to make us push our youth to do good vices.
Across the sub-region, we also know what may have been happening over the last couple of weeks in Burkina Faso, with a warning also coming in from good intel from some of the top countries in the world about likely insurgency, brainwashing of especially young Muslim youth, and how operators need to make sure that you guard against that. How do you make sure that you disseminate that sort of information in the minds of young Muslim youth?
We've been doing that, but it's poverty. If the person doesn't have anything doing, somebody can just call him, give him some small money, and he does everything that the person wants him to do. It is poverty. But we are trying our best to make sure that our youth are educated, and if you are educated, you will not be called upon to do all these vices that are not proper.
But speaking to Joy News on the sidelines of the event, Minister for Inner City and Zongo Development, Dr. Mustafa Hamid, assured his outfit will soon roll out programs intended to keep Zongo youth away from engaging in social vices.
The Ministry of Inner City and Zongo Development is supposed to do basically 4 things. 1, improve educational infrastructure in Zongo community. Our number 2 mandate is security in the Zongo communities. Number 3 is developing businesses of Zongo people. Number 4 is heritages of Zongo communities. How to ensure that the unique traditions of the Zongo people is promoted and highlighted. So in line with these broad mandates that the president has given us, we are doing what we call the Zongo Coders program, where we are training Zongo youth in ICT. You know, people say that Zongo boys are mostly use their knowledge of ICT to do Sakawa. But we are trying to, as it were, redirect those energies and those talents from Sakawa to more productive ventures. So under the Zongo Coders program, we teach them to identify problems inside the Zongo communities and develop software applications that can be used to address these things.
And you heard that Dr. Mustafa Hamid, he's a Minister for Inner City and Zongo Development. Let's head to the Upper West region now, where Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has been celebrating the Eid with Muslims there. Rafiq Salam is our correspondent on the ground. Rafiq, what's happening where you are?
In the Upper West region, the people are saying that they are really lucky to have the Vice President prayed with them at the open congregational prayer at the Nasiri Bomi, the second park. And so this is the first time that they are seeing the Vice President coming to the Upper West region to celebrate Eid with us. But currently, what is happening is that the Vice President is holding a launch party with a section of religious leaders in the Upper West region, including the Christian community. We can have the Bishop of the Diocese, Most Reverend Richard Kunyeba Wob, and a host of other Christian leaders who are there to have lunch party with the Vice President. And so currently, the Vice President just finished speaking, and he spoke about the need to tolerate each other's views, and also the need to be one so that they can fight a common cause.
All right, many thanks. Rafiq Salam is our Upper West correspondent. Let's head to the northern region, where the regional chief imam of the Shia Muslim sect, Sheikh Abdul Mumin Dalu, has appealed to Muslims against attacking anyone in the name of Islam or ethnic lineage. He called on Muslims who gathered to observe the Eid al-Fitr prayers at the Alul Bayt Central Mosque in Tamale to be tolerant of any culture and religion.
Where there is a diverse array of people of different religious backgrounds, one must respect the beliefs of another, irrespective of class, color, or creed. My appeal to Muslims, both near and far, is that Islam is peace and love. Don't ever think of attacking anybody in your life. Learn from Imam Ali alayhi salam, our teacher and mentor. He said, and I quote, "People are of two kinds. They are either your brothers in faith or unequal in creation." Therefore, never ever think of attacking anybody in your life. You'll be making a sad mistake. We need to accept every individual of our society as our own. We have to be tolerant to any kind of culture and religion, whether they are majority or minority. Only then can a society be called perfect. As a matter of fact, there is a narration that when the Christians of Najran came to Medina, the Holy Prophet of Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa wasallam, granted them permission to perform their ibadah, their worship, in his own mosque.
So let's stay a while longer in the northern region because we are learning an emergency curfew has been imposed on the Bole township after gunshots were heard there following Eid prayers between two rival chiefs there. Zion Abdul Rauf is with Inkigli FM there and he joins us on the line with details. Now, Rauf, what is the situation in Bole as we speak?
Yes, thanks very much, and good afternoon to our numerous listeners across Ghana. For now, Bole is calm. The situation is under control. There has been a security beef up following what happened this morning. So as I speak to you now, all is calm. But earlier in the day, we had reports that a curfew had been imposed on the Bole township. Yes, already there has been a curfew that starts at 8 o'clock in the night and then ends at 5 a.m. in the morning. Yes, but the emergency curfew that people were talking about, I spoke to the DCE. She confirmed to me that no, there hasn't been any curfew imposed. Before the start of the curfew, normally the fire tender in Bole used to go around, blow the siren to indicate to the people that it is curfew time. So as the disturbances erupted at the prayer grounds, the fire tender was going around and blowing the siren to indicate to the people that yes, something is happening. So many people, after hearing the sound of the siren, the car started running into their various homes. So they concluded that an emergency curfew had been imposed on the Bole township.
But who are these rival chiefs? Explain to us what led to these gunshots.
Yes, Bole for the past 6 months, as I did indicated to you earlier on, had been under curfew as a result of a chieftaincy dispute. There are two rival chiefs in Bole. One moved to Damango and was staying in Damango. So today being the Eid celebration, he decided to move back to Bole to observe the Eid with his people. So yesterday, an alarm was raised about what the youth of the town were planning forward today. The vice president for the Gunjaran traditional area, phoned into a local radio station in Bole, Inkigi FM, to inform the people of Bole that this is the information he has taken about the entering into Bole township of one of the rival chiefs. So he was appealing to the people there to stay calm. That led to the moving into Bole area of the Savannah Regional Minister with some security men from this area. So after yesterday, everything was calm. So today, in the course of the prayer, in order to maintain peace, the chief imam for the Bole traditional area gave an excuse that because of the security situation, he will not lead in the prayer session. So somebody, another imam from the area went, and before he could lead the prayers, he had to go there with the staff of the chief imam. So when he went there, the youth mobilized to go and seize it from him. So that led to the whole problem erupting again.
All right, many thanks for that update. Zion Abdul Rauf is with Inkigli FM, and the news is that an emergency curfew has been imposed on the Bole township after gunshots were heard there following Eid prayers between two rival chiefs there. Now, Vice Chairman of Parliament's Defence and Interior Committee has called on the Immigration Service to intensify security at especially unapproved routes in and out of the country. Collins Osu-Amankwa says Ghana cannot take things for granted in the wake of the developments of terrorist activities in Burkina Faso. He spoke to Love News when he visited Moshi Zongo, one of the largest Muslim communities in Ghana, to celebrate the Eid Mubarak with them. Prince Apia has more in this report.
The threat of terrorism from Burkina Faso has become a major concern to the security agencies in the country. Churches and other religious bodies have all increased security in the face of threats. Vice Chairperson of the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament, Collins Owusu-Amankwah, says Ghana cannot take things for granted.
I must say, and from where I say that Ghana is safe, except that we should not take things for granted. Mind you, if you look at the Sahel region, the way terrorists are taking over, clearly it has become source of worrying, of which we must not take chances. We should always be on guard. So let me once again seize this opportunity to, as it were, call on the comptroller and his outfit. I'm talking about the Ghana Immigration Service to intensify patrolling in all our borders and to tight security in all, including unapproved routes in and out of this country.
He said this when he donated some foodstuffs and other items to the Muslim community in the Meshia North constituency. Mr. Owusu-Amankwah advised the leadership on the need to preach religious tolerance as they end the month-long Ramadan fast. Prince Apia reporting.
Now, Deputy National Chief of the Al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah sect has called on President Akufo-Addo to make his stance clear on the proposed ban of hijabs and veils at various secondary schools and public institutions. According to Sheikh Mohammed Kamil Mohammed, forcing students and nurses to remove their veils is not the best, and government must intervene and put an end to that issue. He was speaking after the annual Eid al-Fitr celebration at Old Tafel, a suburb of Kumasi in the Ashanti region.
I think they are now harassing them about the hijab, and I don't think that is, the good practices that they are doing. They have to be tolerant to the Islam, to the Muslim, to our daughters, because that is our religion. You can't take us out from the religion. Anything that you do, you can't take us out of it. So they have to be patient. So we want this government to come out. We want this government to come out and let us, his people, to know that Ghana is, a secular country. It's not for Christians. So they can't control us. They can't ask us to do what they want. We are Muslims. We will stay Muslims. We will die Muslims.
So that's Deputy National Chief of the Al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah sect, Sheikh Mohammed Kamil Mohammed. Let's come back to Accra, where Nikamu, who is president of the Ga-Dangme Muslim Chiefs, has been recounting to my colleague Roland Walker how he lives in unity with various family members who practice different religious beliefs.
The reverends and the imams are always telling things about how we need to live together, how we need to love each other and things. But still, it's going up and down. That don't tell me that I don't have to love, because the family I came in is a Christian family. I'm a Muslim. They work with me, they do everything with me. So that's love. And
that's proper love.
Yes, the proper love. I'm from the house which we have a Christian. Even we have a fetish preaching in my house. And we eat together, we talk.
So you have traditional religious practitioners, you have Christians, and you have Muslims. What a house.
Yeah. This is Akotiawe Atupai. So that tells what is religion. And we love each other. We don't hate each other. No discrimination about religion. We live together. We can fight today. Tomorrow you see us together. So the love we're talking about, be around with different people. That's love. Not your wife, not your son, not your friends, but the people you hate, trying to love them. That's love that God talking about.
So that's Nigamu. He is president of the Ga-Dangme Muslim Chiefs. You're listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Our top story: security and religious tolerance high on the agenda as Muslims across the country gather to climax their month-long fast. We heard from President Akufo-Addo as he called on Muslims to report suspicious characters in their neighborhood to foil any likely terror attack. Still ahead, apologize. That's the call from women's advocacy group WILDAF to President Akufo-Addo for his recent comments suggesting there isn't enough dynamic activism from Ghanaian women.
I would say that the president himself has not been dynamic enough. When the president arrives at the airport, just do the honorable thing by apologizing to Ghanaian women.
This Wednesday on the Joy Business Van, celebrating small beginnings. will engage Helen Lawson of Siloa Healthy Salads, creating a business from her love for eating healthy salads.
I was in the office and I was thinking, why can't I do something alongside? Because my friends they were saying the salad is nice, so bring it out.
And Sandra Amewala of Gary Boutique, giving a new feel to your Gary soakings.
Yes, this is the regular Gary everybody eats, but then what would make somebody who is a CEO want to eat Gary soakings in his office?
Get inspired by their stories this Wednesday. The Joy Business Van, Rewind Edition on TV, radio, online, and on ground. It is powered by Joy Business and supported by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
You're welcome back to the news. Now, Governance Programs Manager for Women's Advocacy Group, WOLDAF, Frank Boja, is demanding President Akufo-Addo renders an unqualified apology to Ghanaian women for his recent comments, which caused a stir. Here's more of what the president said at a global conference in Canada dubbed Women Deliver.
For me, what I've seen in the 2.5 years that I've been in office, that not enough movement is being made by the 52% of the Ghanaian population that are women to be able to be in the position to make these decisions. The cabinet that I have, some 30% of them are women. It's not good enough.
So next,
it doesn't
20%
reflect
more next year.
Well,
yes.
And if they re-elect me, we'll see. We're not seeing enough dynamism and activism on the part of those who are seeking this new. We're not. We're not.
Well, Mr. Boja believes the president's comments were inappropriate and wants his party, the New Patriotic Party, to institute policies to protect the seats of female MPs. He spoke earlier today on the Super Morning Show.
The first thing is that when the president arrives at the airport, just do the honorable thing by apologizing to Ghanaian women. That is the first thing. The second thing is that from the last election, when during the MPP primaries, they said that they were going to give automatic qualification to the women who were MPs. And they said, they could not do it, they will amend the constitution, their constitution. This is the time. Towards the next election, they should be able to amend their constitution in a way that will reflect their agenda, or what I would say, gender agenda, and that will help all of us.
So that's Frank Boja. He's Governance Programs Manager for Women's Advocacy Group, WOLDAF. Meanwhile, one of the many responses of gender activists and women groups in the country on President Akufo-Addo's comments is, the president has not been fair to us. One of the panelists on that platform, Dr. Ala Murabit, who's the UN's High Commissioner on Health, Employment and Economic Growth, charged the president to, quote, open the door to women in Ghana whom she believed are qualified and empowered enough to participate prominently in his government. It appears she's not the only one infuriated by this assertion by the president. Panelists on the AM show on Multi TV have also been sharing their thoughts.
You see, there is that angle where women are not being pushed, and then there's that angle where women themselves are not putting themselves out there, and that's not because they don't want to. The systems and structures don't make it easy.
Are we trying to say, treat women differently simply because they're women?
There is gender-based discrimination. There are women doing enough, but the doors are closed to them. The president wasn't being fair to gender activists, especially in their country. There's so much gender activists like myself are doing, and it's not just in corners where it's being hidden. There are gender activists who actually go to the Flagstaff House to engage him. There are petitions that has been sent to him. There are meetings that has been held with him. So if he goes on an international platform to say that there hasn't been enough dynamism and activism, that is him trashing the effort of gender advocates and activists in the country, and I don't think that's fair.
So what he said, is it true or not?
I don't agree. I think there has been so much dynamism, there has been so much advocacy concerning some of these women's rights. And to say that women have not done enough is to downplay the efforts of women so far.
And they have a suggestion for the president. Listen.
If you talk about things like that, it means that you know the situation on the ground, you know the problem, you know the role you have to play, but you are not playing it. And so it's important that you first recognize what you have to do and what you are not doing that is contributing to the current situation?
We live in a society that is sadly patriarchal. So I feel that was supposed to be a platform to unlearn, engage women, educate them, let them know how powerful they are, and steer change.
Yes, some panelists on the AM show on Multi TV. Away from that, environmental groups are demanding answers from government on what they say is its inaction on the Galamsey fraud expose. It will be recalled presidential staffer Charles Bisu resigned after videos emerged of him allegedly receiving money in the documentary Galamsey Fraud by Anas Aremeyao Anas. Here are extracts of the statement issued by Forest Watch.
The statement said government silence on the issue is sending the impression that the executive is unperturbed, that top government officials, including presidential staffers, are behind the destruction of water ecosystems, farms and livelihoods. This posture trivializes these criminal acts and is endangering the lives of ordinary people and eventually the entire country. It's also giving the perpetrators the audacity to challenge the Anas revelations with the aim of discrediting the findings. Civil society calls on the government to act with the same alacrity with which it responded to the expose on the sports sector, since the Galamsey menace is wreaking havoc on the environment and destroying the very foundation of the lives of the people.
Extract of a statement from Forest Watch there. Now, the West African country of Benin has some of Africa's music greats, including the diva Angelique Kidjo. But there's concern that the music industry of that country continues to be dominated by the old generation, while the budding talents struggle at the bottom. That's thought to present a contrast to the industry in Ghana, which is constantly breeding a new generation whose songs are topping the charts. Our Beninois intern, Jean Claudel, compares the industries of both countries and says it's similar to comparing day and night.
Angelique Kidjo, the African music diva, is Beninois, a great figure inspiring African music talent. Ghanaian dancehall artist Samini describes her as a legend.
She's one of the people that inspired us over the years.
Angelique Kidjo's country has made some progress in terms of music over the years. The situation is no different in Ghana, but Benin's entertainment industry is thought to be less advanced as compared to Ghana. Ghanaian cultural entrepreneur Henry P.K. Holbrook Smith is an associate director at the Hamatan Music Agency.
Music industry in Benin is not as mature as the music industry in Ghana because the musicians have failed to organize themselves in a way in which it will be conducive to the industry.
Perhaps the internet revolution is doing the trick for young musicians in Ghana. T-Boy, a Beninois artist, has some thought.
The management, they've helped me and I've been able to hold on to this thing till now. And I mean, the awards are coming every day and I appreciate it.
It's clear the cost of the internet has an impact on artists. There's a general success story because of technological advancements.
There's a difference in the way the youth now make their music. A lot of it's made electronically, but the older generation, they performed live and recorded live.
At the heart of Ghana's progress in the entertainment industry is the hip life revolution. Professor John Collins is a musicologist.
In the early 1900s, that was our staple diet up to about the 1980s. And then new types of music came into the scene like disco.
In Benin, there's little to no controversy in the industry. But in Ghana, the opposite. 2019 Hip Life Artist of the Year, Kwame Eugene.
Entertainment is being driven by controversy.
Maybe my country, Benin, can take a leaf out of Ghana's book.
You come from Togo, you come from Cote d'Ivoire, you come from Ghana, Tanzania. There is a door open for Africans. So this is a time we need to learn more and enter that door because it's open.
So a Beninois intern, Jean Claudel, filed that report here comparing our industries and it's day and night. Clearly, isn't it, Mapito?
Yes, it is.
All right, so what's trending on social media?
Oh, well, hashtag Eid Mubarak is trending and hashtag World Environment Day is trending. At Hustler_56 says, Eid Mubarak to all those celebrating. May Allah's blessing be with you. And at Frederick says, Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim brothers and sisters in Ghana and around the world. Hashtag Eid Mubarak. Agnes Kaguri says, the power of prayer, believe, thrive. Hashtag Eid Mubarak. Happy Eid to my Muslim brothers and sisters. And this one is on Environment Day, who's from Kuma, who says, air pollution is a silent killer, claiming millions of lives every year. On hashtag World Environment Day, let's all come together and pledge to do our best to improve the quality of air. Araba,
definitely.
Are you planting any trees today?
I'm hoping that my Muslim brothers and sisters are bringing me shinkafa. And I've been promised by Yusuf, right? Definitely. Okay, and that's how we wrap up the midday news. Our top story: President Akufo-Addo calls on Muslims to report suspicious characters in their neighborhood to foil any likely terror attack, and emergency curfew imposed on the Bolle Township after gunshots were heard there following Eid prayers between two rival chiefs there. For more details, log on to myjoyonline.com. I'm Barbara Kumson. Have a lovely Eid afternoon.